Hi, I'm Emily.
And I'm Stephen.
And this is In A Barbie World,
The podcast where we look at every Barbie movie from 1987 to the present day.
from fairy tales to literary classics.
From Mariposa to Mermaidia.
It's time to get unboxed,
Readjust your lippy,
rock the ball gown.
and let's get our Barbie on.
Barbie, a fashion fairy tale. We're in 2010. We're in the reboot era. And I was very disillusioned last episode. I was thinking that this was the end as we knew it.
And you're back on board. Do you know what?
I'm back on board.
I'm terrified now of watching these films because as you know, I didn't mind the last one.
Mm-hmm.
And you hated it. And I'm thinking, I kind of like this one. Am I the target audience?
Yeah.
Is Emily going to hate it? But, I mean, there's an underlying problem I have with it. But as a film, as a Barbie film,
Yeah.
this ticked a lot of boxes
It's
and
really
righted a lot
good.
of wrongs.
It's really good. I had so much fun.
When the weakest thing about it is Barbie, then all
Yeah.
those other issues I've got disappear. It does lots of things which I've hated in the past better. And let's talk about it. But I'm glad we're on the same page.
Yeah, so much so. So again, we start with a great song. Y2K is here. We are in the 2000s and the credits are going with really nice illustrations of fashion designs, and it's got a bop. And I mean an actual bop that will not get overdone. And when it comes back at the end credits, I'm like grooving as opposed to like throwing things at the television like I was last time. There was a repeated bop. This is an actual bop. It's very good. Then it's so cool. It's like it's kind of meta where we open into what looks like we're doing another traditional fairy tale Barbie movie like we did with the three colors and a lot of the early ones, where we open on Princess and the Pea, which is one of my favorite fairy tales, and Barbie's in like traditional fairy tale dresses and she's a princess, and we're following the plot of the Princess and the Pea. And I was like, I mean, I wasn't like, huh? What? Because I was like, I'm watching a movie for children. Like, it's fine. But, like, I am intrigued. As, like, obviously we're on some movie set or something. But, like, oh, this is fun. And then the pea is summoned to be placed under the mattresses. And they're all, like, big old cardboard cutout zombie peas. And they start singing. And I'm just like, already, this movie has shown, like, imagination, creativity, fun, and I'm having a great time, and it's been like 3 minutes. I don't know if you felt the same.
I was worried what you might think of this bit because there's the zombie pea stuff on I don't know. it's a joke. It's for 6-year-olds. Although what do 6-year-olds know about zombies? So that was a bit weird. Well, however, I love that kind of meta stuff where it's a film being. I always love films being made within films, and I love the conceit that this is Barbie Prime, and this is the Barbie that has been acting in all the other films we've seen.
Yeah.
Because she goes back and later on she says something like, in Barbie and the Three Musketeers, I did this.
Yeah.
And there's a poster for A Mermaid Tale in her dressing room. And there's this. So that also crosses the two, the reboot era and the original era already.
It's so funny. So, like, Barbie canonically now is an actor who appears in movies. She's no longer like a character.
Although only 16, apparently. Which is a bit weird, but I'm just going to let that pass.
Yeah.
But because she's obviously been playing a lot older characters.
Yes.
And I think there's more of this to come in this era. I think this sort of this Barbie Prime, as I'm going to call her,
I'm excited.
This is a bit of what some of these films is about, and Yeah, no, I like films within films. This is adaptation for the Barbie era.
Yeah, it really is. And she has this conversation with the director, and the director is like, test audiences have deemed that we need to have zombie peas, and Barbie is like, I just felt it was written very well in that it managed to portray a very human conversation between like a young lead actress who is being very polite and reasonable with quite an unreasonable director. I don't know, it just sat quite interestingly with me, where I was like, oh, like this is a bit Hollywood. Like this feels very real. This feels like something maybe the writer has witnessed.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
Barbie is fired for like having an opinion. It's like, stop expressing your thoughts. Get out of here, little girl. Like, we don't want you on my set, kind of thing.
Were you getting Joss Whedon vibes?
Just Whedon, like all of them. Like, I was like, you know, not to go too heavy or hard on this silly meta Barbie movie, but you know, I could see Natalie Portman with the female directors around her cape sewn in, and I could see like Time's Up, and I don't know. I was just like, this is cool. Like, this is, I like this. I like what we're doing here. We go back to our dressing room, and there, as you say, there's a poster for The Mermaid's Tale, which instantly I was like, it's like how the horror movie directors used to put each other's horror movies in the background of each other's movies to be like, in my universe, your movie's just a silly horror movie. My movie's the real scary monster because it's real, and yours is just fiction in this universe. It's that kind of thing where it's like, A Mermaid Tale was shit because it was like a movie, but like this is now like the backstage of
I love
Barbie's
it.
life. I don't know. It gave it more credit in my eyes. And made sense as well, because I was like, yeah, Barbie, I mean, the last movie you made was a fucking flop, so you really do need to sort your act out, literally. Like, wait. And then we get a phone call from Ken, and he breaks up with her in a very brilliant movie way, where he like doesn't respond to anything she's saying and is very stilted in his line delivery, and you're like, oh, like.
Yeah.
And again, it's fun because even though you're an adult and you can see the beats playing out, I was sat here being like, oh, I'm excited to see like what he was clearly doing. Like, what's he distracted by? Like, what's he talking to in order for Barbie to have this misunderstanding? Because it's all very Shakespearean. But I wasn't like, oh, this is boring and badly written. I was like, oh, I'm engaged and like interested to see how this plays out.
It does. Also, there's an elephant in the room we haven't addressed.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't Kelly Sheridan.
The first film where Diana Carina voices Barbie, which in a way works because it's like, this is Barbie's real voice, and she puts on a Kelly Sheridan voice to be the character of Barbie.
Like it. Yeah. I mean, I wasn't particularly bothered by it. I didn't.
It was a good voice.
And
I thought I was going to really notice it and be upset by it.
But there's so much going on. There's so much going on in terms of story and characters. There's a fucking B plot in this one. There's never been a B plot before, as far as I can remember.
It's like a movie. It's like a real go to the cinema, old fashioned movie, you know?
Absolutely. I was really engaged by this. You know, nothing's original, nothing's new, but it's layers. The animation, so this is sort of like a step up from the animation from Mermaid Tale. It's still the similar sort of style, but now there's more more in the backgrounds going on. It's just so much better. Sorry, I interrupted you, but I just thought we'd better talk about the lack of Kelly, because in case we forgot, because I think, you know, we talked about this being the first reboot era, and losing Kelly Sheridan, I don't know if
felt like it was going to be a big old
especially
thing.
As the last film was so disappointing.
Yeah,
that would have been another nail in the coffin, and I think we'd have had a long hard look at ourselves whether how long we could keep this going. But no, and so Yes, real life stuff happens to Barbie.
Yeah. So Ken's broken up with her, shock horror, which again, I'm like, that's cool. Like, remember when Kermit and Miss Piggy broke up and it was because we were going into the like mature, edgy version of the Muppets that was purely for adults only. Like in this movie for kids, Ken breaks up with Barbie in the first 5 minutes. And so she does like all of us would do in this moment. She decides to go to Paris because, you know.
We'll go to the most romantic city on earth.
Do that.
Just at 16 from America.
Yeah. From America. But whatever, like she has family out there. She was thinking of going anyway. She's going to go to Paris and have like a hot girl summer, and I'm here for it. Or a wet girl summer because it's pissing it down when she gets there. But she goes to Paris and her two friends bump into Ken in the diner. And again, Barbie truly is a great role model in terms of like surrounding yourself with a really good support group, because these women full on go up to Ken. I don't know, I was going to call him by his full name, but I don't know what it is. I was going to call him like Kendred, but just Ken. I can't.
Kenneth?
Kenneth. They go fully up to Kenneth and they're like, sir, like, fuck you. And he's like, what? And they're like, literally fuck you. And like, what great friends. Because it allows them to find out the truth. But it just, there's none of this like hiding behind menus and being like, what a dick, babe, you should try to go to Paris. Like, they confront him and they support her. And like,
and because they do that, then the truth comes out. The truth, what we probably half suspected, we just didn't quite know how, within 5 minutes. And that isn't the crisis of the story. Yes. The crisis of the story is not why did Ken say what he said. Yeah, the crisis of the story is over in the A plot. And we just have a nice fun B plot where Ken ends up doing a planes, trains and automobiles to Paris. Even the girl that so what happens is that he's practicing lines with another girl, Raquel, who is born like Maleficent. She's like, she is evil. And she's just been recording things that he said and then played them to Barbie to say, I am breaking up with you. And like, what's wonderful about that is that this character is so like gleeful. She's literally only here for this moment and then we never see her again. She never comes back into the movie. She's just here to break them up. But it's so fun because she's like, the women are like, you broke up with Barbie, and he's like, what? And he starts recognizing the lines and she like slips under the table and she's like, anyway, Ken, guess I gotta go, bye. And then he's like, wait, no, come back. Like, did you do this? These are the exact lines that I was practicing with you. And she was like, oh, what a coinky dink. Like, she's just having so much fun being so ridiculously mean and unnecessary. And she does not relent. Ken is literally like, now I need to go to Paris and do a big romantic gesture for Barbie, and all the girlfriends are like, yes, Ken, go do that, queen. And she's like, are you sure you don't want to stay with me and run lines? It's like, Raquel, I admire the fact that you do not stop. Like, the confidence on Raquel, like, I'm here for it. I love her. I want her Barbie. I want to be able to brush her goth black hair. It's so great. But yeah, so that just straight away sets up that B plot. Bang. Ken's got to get to Paris. Ken's got to get to Paris, and he's got an hour and 10 minutes to do it. And it took Barbie 30 seconds. So yeah, exactly. Let's see how Ken does. So we're in Paris, and we find out that her aunt Millicent, who used to run a massive fashion boutique in the high street, is closing down and being bought out by a hot dog place. Yeah, we're going to get to that. So two things before you continue. Millicent, which is Barbie's middle name, so we now know who she's been named after. Hey! Yeah, her mum's or father's sister. We don't know if it's paternal or fraternal. And the other thing is, hot dog is fucking hilarious because it's one of those words of contention in French. Yeah. That they don't like using because it's like a borrowed English language word. And so le hot dog and stuff, the fact that they would replace it with a hot dog joint is just the worst thing that could happen in France to French people in Paris.
And it's on such a bougie, like you can picture it, Parisian high street, and then you're gonna have like the first episode of season 1 of I Think You Should Leave, like man in a hot dog suit, like bam. It's so fucking stupid. I love it to pieces. And opposite Millicent's are some evil fashionistas who again are like dressed really cool and funky and edgy, and they've been stealing all of Millicent's designs and selling them. So she's going out of business and they're getting more and more famous. And there are villains. And they are cool and mean, and everybody has a French accent, literally everybody, which I thought was very nice.
Ooh la la.
Because I love to hear it. I don't know, it's just fun. They easily couldn't, like, they could have done a Beauty and the Beast where everyone's like, bonjour, hey there, Belle.
Or Three Musketeers, where I did point out that everyone seemed to be English and using words like castles instead of chateaus. They heard, William Lau heard me and he said, Stephen,
like, never again.
Don't worry.
I got you covered. So it's very cute, very sweet, little French accents. And Barbie's bought her poodle, who is just gorgeous in so many ways, because it's your typical fluffy French poodle that were all the rage in the 2000s. They were very fashionable. Like I had one, a little toy of a poodle, and I loved it. And they're so chic and feminine, but this one's very like energetic, and it really acts like a dog, and it's just like,
it's one of those big
wholesome
poodles.
Yeah.
Do you know though what I wish? Because when I was growing up, my sister had a Barbie, and Barbie had an Afghan hound.
Yeah,
you know,
I remember you saying.
And I wish an Afghan hound had turned up in one of these movies. This would have been. But I get it. It's hard to animate. So I did think maybe the animation did look a bit like someone was in a dog suit. Yeah. There's something about the legs, something like that. But it was,
lumbering.
It was fine, and it was in the style I like, where the animals can talk to each other, but they can't talk to Barbie. Although they do seem to interact in very human ways on occasion, like when she uses a sewing machine.
The animals in this movie are really bizarre. So we've got Sequin the poodle, who I think is a great character. She's very fun and grounded, but very beautiful. Then you've got a very lovely cat, who again doesn't fall into the trope of being a villain or anything. She's just like she's a little bit snooty, but like it's justified. And she's like a nice hot cat.
She's a cat, and cats have that kind of air of snootiness. Yeah, for sure.
And then there's a dog
who's channeling a PG, a U version of Pepe Le Pew, right?
That's it. He's got the DreamWorks eyebrow. He's got the weirdest eyebrows. They're like penciled on. It's like somebody has picked up an animal in real life and then taken like a charcoal eyeliner and like drawn some eyebrows on them. Like they're so prominent and weird, and he is so like, ooh la la, it is my muse. You feel the urge to design.
He's channeling Maurice Chevalier. Like, thank heaven for little girls, for little poodles. Yeah. Oh, my art has been stolen by you. I want to design again. You are my muse.
Yeah, I'm a muse. And it never got out of hand. It never got to a point where I was like, please stop. Because the other two characters are so aware to keep him in check that it's just fun. Like, and
it doesn't become important enough. It's a C plot. My God, we've got a C plot.
Yeah, you really do.
That kind of happens alongside the A plot. If we lost it, the world wouldn't end. But it's kind of... Remember, if you're a 6-year-old girl, this is probably fucking high humour.
Oh my God. I mean, it is still really funny. And then the poodle says really nice things like... I've learned from Barbie that the best way to try on fashion is to fearlessly express yourself. And it's like, yeah, that's a valid fucking message to give to little girls. Like, fucking, you can't shout that down. Like, that is a valid. Anyway, Millicent's got an assistant who has a really cool design in that she's got a ponytail and glasses. And what's best thing about that is it's 2010 and she does not ever take her hair down or take her glasses off.
Yeah.
And it's so stupid to pick up on that, but like, that was really important for me.
This is Alice, is that the name she goes by? I can't remember.
Yes.
Although she's got a French name. Also, Millicent, I think I've been quite critical of some of the older characters, that they don't look older. Whereas Millicent has got grey hair. She's got the body of a 20-year-old, but we'll look past that, because that's part of her thing, isn't it? That she's
like
young at heart. Yeah.
Yeah.
But she has got grey hair.
Does.
But isn't a wizened old granny type.
Yeah.
Which again, this is a first as far as I can remember, for sort of showing someone who's genuinely not 16.
Yeah, completely. Because they easily could have made her like the mum in the Three Musketeers. But they chose to make her like older and wiser, but still energetic. And she's not a million miles away from like, like there are still grannies that go to the gym and are like alive, and all their brain cells are still there. And
oh, for sure. I mean, I don't think she's meant to be.
vibe.
I mean, if Barbie is only 16 and she is the sister of one of Barbie's parents, I imagine she's only in her 40s or something.
Yeah, maybe 50s.
Just remember who's here before you slag off old people. But no, I just liked it. Right, the character designs in this one are so superior.
Oh yeah,
both visually and sort of who the characters are. Even I've slagged off some of the animals before.
Animals are nice. And it's just the eyebrows, which I think are actually like a memorable touch.
Yeah.
They're fucking crazy.
Yeah, but everyone kind of looks their age. But even the background models, everything's filled. I mean, we're going to get to something shortly, which I don't know how we feel about it. But the human and animal characters in this movie are... I don't want it to go backwards from here.
Yes. Completely.
Yeah, they've hit something.
Yes, I agree. So Alice and Barbie are having a conversation, and Barbie's like, oh, when I used to come here as a kid, then I would always feel that there was magic in this place. And Alice takes that as a cue to be like, there is. There is literal, actual magic in this place. And we go upstairs to the attic and we find a wardrobe and we find a inscription, and we open up the wardrobe and we have to put an original design in it. And we see that Alice has taken it upon herself to design some clothes. Yeah,
I have to say, this whole no one likes Millicent's designs anymore thing, that wasn't really...
I mean, it doesn't make sense because all of her designs were copied by the opposite boutique and everybody loved them. So, like...
Yeah, that wasn't... And there are... We might say there's a little bit too much plot here for the running time of the film, and I think there could have been, like, 5 minutes explaining that a bit further, in that people did like her designs. Actually, it's just that she was being ruined by the people over the street. Yeah. But the film goes to great lengths not really to make those two on the other side of the street too villainous.
Yeah, completely.
Just a little bit villainous.
Yeah, just enough. So Alice is making her own designs, and there's a dress on one of the mannequins, and Barbie's like, oh my god, she loses her shit. She's like, oh my god, this is one of the best things I've ever seen in my entire life. It's fine. Like, we've had a lot of dresses in Barbie movies, and I understand that we are in the modern day. I understand that we are in 2010.
No, the dress... I have to say, the dresses on... both the normal day outfits and the supposedly haute couture super fashion dresses are not particularly remarkable.
No, they're
and
not.
I'm pretty certain French people know about sequins and glitter already, but we'll get there.
It's fine because, like, I was a bit drunk when I watched this movie. So we put the dress in the wardrobe, and we spin it around and we say the magic incantation, and out comes these three little, what looks to be fairy things, and they instantly are like, fairies have wings. We clearly don't have wings. We are flairies, which I'll allow it, because what they do, they're called shine, shimmer, and glimmer, and that is exactly what they do to the outfits, and they twist them all around and basically just douse them in glitter like they're the set of Legend 1985 starring Tom Cruise.
And I've seen some reviews which kind of criticise that a bit. But actually, if you're 6 years old, a
Mate,
glittery
you're 30
dress
years old.
is the best fucking thing in the world.
Glitter
And
buckets for Christmas.
and there's all those toys, you know, you buy sequins and glitter and your party dresses are glittery and I get it. It might not be really high fashion.
Oh
Jean-Paul
my God.
Gaultier is probably
This is
turning
the
in
thing.
his grave, but this is 6-year-old fashion. Go for it.
Like, the opposite boutique has much nicer, almost like Beetlejuice-esque, like haute couture, like suit dresses, and they're very nice and they're very like fashionable. This is just like Y2K dresses covered in glitter. But fucking hell, if you're telling me I can put any outfit in this wardrobe and it's gonna come out in a shed load of fucking glitter, I'm sold. That sounds amazing.
That
is
sounds like a
truly
toy that we should have,
the
right?
best thing in the world. Like, as I say, I was drunk and I was like, it's glitter on the dresses. I love it. I literally have caps lock here, glitterizer. But like, we can assume it's like eco-friendly glitter because it's done by like Fairies, who I assume don't want to hurt the environment. Love it. Bit confused about them. They've sort of they don't time hop, but they travel. But they've been here a while, by which I mean like years. But one of them is still only just coming.
Yeah, that was
magic. Doesn't quite add up. They're not French.
no.
They're American. They look Y2K. Like it would have been cool if one of them had like Edwardian garb and one of them had like 60s garb or something, just to indicate that they've sort of been through time and they've got their vibes about them, like different Doctor Who's. I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
I just feel like if they'd had one more staff member on board, they could have let them take the Fairies away and done something really quite creative with them visually to indicate and imply more of a backstory. But I get it. They put glitter on the dresses. That's fine.
And if you remember in A Mermaid's Tale, there were the 3 Furies. I can't remember what they were called. Fates, which I kind of like the idea of, but it was actually implemented a bit shitely.
Executed poorly, yeah.
Whereas this is the same-ish idea. 3 magical beings that exist in a modernish world. But it's done better, even though they are fucking annoying. And I absolutely agree with you. Why the third one seems to be a neophyte, yet they've been doing this for Millicent for years.
Yeah.
And maybe others as well. It's not really hinted, but I don't mind them. So it's a So just kind of about. We've got a Barbie movie with a wraparound device. In this case, Barbie being being in films. We've got a Ken subplot, we've got animal subplot that isn't annoying, and we've got a little bit of magic.
Yeah.
This is 9 out of 10 of the tick boxes that we need for a Barbie movie, really.
And but they're balancing them so delicately. They're doing such a good job with them all, because you could look at the Diamond Castle and say that there's the same things going on there, but that is fucking shite. Whereas here, it's just every moment that we're given is thought through. It's at least the like 3rd draft, because we're now going to cut to the B plot with Ken, as you say, doing trains, planes and automobiles, and every time we're near him it's like funny, or at least amusing, or like memorable, and you're like, haha, Ken's in with the pig man, oh, Ken's in a taxi that breaks down, Ken's on a plane that doesn't stop, but Ken's reaching out of a bridge for a train that's just left. Like, Ken's ripped his pants. Like, Ken's having a little adventure, and it's all fine. It's all good stuff. I don't have a problem with Ken's story at all. Like, it's amusing. Every time we come to Ken, I'm not like, oh fuck, let's get back to Paris. I'm like, oh, what's Ken up to? Which I think is really good, because they easily could have made that boring and shit, or not done it at all.
Yeah, no, it just. I think we're just going to say the same thing over and over. I think it's just a reaction to I think I was a bit more boosty about Mermaid's Tale than you were, but now seeing this makes me realise even more. You were right to talk me down from from it, for sure.
You're welcome. So another note I've got here is that this movie, and I stand by this movie so easily could have been a live action Lindsay Lohan vehicle. Like, it would still work really well. I think, as like a live, if this came out in 2010 and it starred Lindsay Lohan instead of Barbie and it was live action, it would be on Netflix next to She's the Man and A Cinderella Story, easily. Like, and I think that's a real testament, considering it is a Barbie movie, that it stands alongside like actual movies for like young women at the time.
Yeah, absolutely agree. I was just thinking who could appear in it. It would be something like it could be a Netflix movie today, like
The Princess Switch.
Yeah, it's like Millie Bobby Brown or somebody in it. That obviously not as Barbie, but
yeah,
somebody sort of current and young and popular, and it would be a fluffy little movie that they put out at a holiday season, Easter or Christmas or something, and everyone would just watch it.
Yeah, it'd be great. Like, honestly, I think it would really work. I love. It's interesting because I feel like this is going to be a gripe of yours, but I really loved that Barbie almost took a back seat in this story, and she was just like the hype girl. Like, she's barely our protagonist.
So this is my problem with the movie. The one demerit it's got is that the Barbie character is pretty fucking vacant. I know you've given her a lot of agency in those early scenes, but during the rest of it, she just says, all she is says things like, "Oh, that's wondrous" or something. Yeah, she's got these pretty vacant, and she isn't really key to anything, right? Alice is the one who has the real growth. She's the one who does the new dresses. The villains are the villains. Ken is doing his journey. All Barbie did was get there. Oh, the fairies are the magical ones. Yeah. So I don't think Barbie in the film, although this is a story about her refinding her self-confidence, I don't think she does an awful lot to get her self-confidence back.
No, it kind of never left. She was like, okay, that's fine. Ken left me. I'll get over it.
Yeah, I didn't see her very upset about that.
No.
So the one demerit, the one thing that stops this film being top tier, is that Barbie herself is just a bit subdued.
Yeah.
And it's as if maybe if we had one character less somewhere, I don't know what that would be. I don't know how that would play out.
I feel like in this genre, it's not unheard of to have a main character that sort of semi-learns a lesson, but primarily all of the plot is done through like a secondary character, which would here is Alice. Like, I feel like I've seen that before a lot, where the primary person is like, oh, I guess I have learned that through my own ability to make a new friend and hype her up, that I also deserve love and confidence. And oh, look, my boyfriend didn't even break up with me in the first place anyway, so I guess that's fine. But all of the main plot and growth goes through the other character.
Yeah. She's not like awful or anything. It's just a little bit lacking in agency, which doesn't match up with that strong opening where she calls out the director and the reward she will get at the end. I'm not sure she did anything except getting on a plane.
That's very true.
And events happened around her. Yes, she encourages, I mean, we'll talk about it in a minute. You know, she encourages a fashion show and stuff like that. And maybe she does stuff in montage that I'm not getting enough credit for, but I don't feel.
I think you're right. I think I'd agree with you.
There's no crisis for Barbie in this film.
Yeah, agreed. And you know, it's not the end of the world. I would say similar things happen in like Beauty and the Beast.
Yes, absolutely.
Belle is very agentless and just sort of meanders around. But like, I think it's fine. I'll allow it. But I take your point. So we do decide to throw a fashion show to save the building. We're going to raise funds and buy it back from the hot doggeteria. And alongside this, the animals have been working on their own shit, and they walk into the room, and the animals have been like using sewing machines and talking to each other on their hind legs. And then, like Toy Story, the humans come in, and the animals are like woof woof again. And she literally comes in, and she's like, "Oh my God, dog of mine, did you design and sew together a fully functioning outfit that is tailor-made for this poodle?" Like, it's just so insane. Firstly, it's like a tutu that's been pulled onto the dog. It's like really not that impressive.
I've got another negative point on this film.
Yeah.
Dogs shouldn't wear fucking dresses. I'm
Okay.
sorry. I'm
Agree.
sorry, but it's fucking weird because they're horizontal, not vertical, and so it's just basically like a pink frilly belt that it's wearing around its hind legs.
Well, it's that internet argument, isn't it? How does a dog wear trousers? Does it wear it like
yeah.
pulled onto its back legs or
I just
on all
don't
fours?
I don't think it's particularly visually appealing. Except I kind of get it because I saw my kids stick dresses and things on toy dogs, and that's what they look like. So maybe it's just something that you grow out of. That doesn't look
like
good.
if you have a little rescue chihuahua, please don't like wrap it up in a Minions onesie. But like if you have a plastic poodle, feel free to pull a tutu onto it.
Yeah, make sure your animals are inanimate before dressing them up.
Before dressing them up.
But it's, that's silly, but it's no sillier than Fairies.
Yes, agreed.
And so this film lives in the real world and it lives in some kind of fantasy world. And do you know what? That's kind of what I want.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that the best Barbie movies we've seen have an element of fantasy and groundedness.
Yeah.
And actually, when they've tried to be too fairy tale-y, say like Rapunzel and Nutcracker, Diamond Castle especially, I don't think it's necessarily pulled it off.
No.
I think it's fallen between the stools of which it's tried to cross. But when it just piles it in, and this movie just piles every genre in, and I'm all right with that. And I think credit due to the screenwriter, I can't remember who did this one, but William Lau's back directing, and he does normally bring it. He's got to crunch that all into an hour and 15 minutes, hour and 20 minutes.
He does it very well.
I agree.
He really does. So the Fairies are spotted through the window. I don't know if they were meant to be a big old secret because they're shit at it if they are. They're literally doing magic in the window to the point where the opposite boutique can see them, and then they kidnap them. And they're like, you must perform magic for us. Make our clothes also shine with sequins. And it's like, no, we don't wanna. We're not inspired by your like. All of their outfits look like something Catherine O'Hara would have worn in Beetlejuice, or even Schitt's Creek. To be fair, it looks like Catherine O'Hara's wardrobe, and
which she might have left behind from her previous appearance in these films.
Yes, it's so true.
I think they were trying to do like Vivienne Westwood, weren't they? Sort of that kind of It's
more sharp, very old-fashioned, if you will, considering we're in Y2K, appealing to teenagers. So all of the dresses that Barbie are coming out with have the big chunky midi belts and the short flared skirts with the layers. Like you just throw on a pair of Ugg boots and some hooped earrings onto there, and you got yourself a Paris Hilton look for days. Which now obviously we look back and are like, what were we thinking? But I definitely wore a lot of what was seen in this movie. As a teenager, so I get it. Just need a butterfly clip and you're good to go. So the Fairies.
I remember those days.
as physically as many little butterfly clips in your hair as you can possibly manage.
And as a father of two daughters, it's the equivalent of stepping on Lego when you go into their room.
Yes. And so they're uninspired by these like Vivienne Westwood-esque outfits. So they put the magic on, but they don't know what's going to happen. Ooh, like the magic won't last. It's not stable because we don't like your outfits, which is cool. Like, I don't know. I kind of like that it's like a genie that's like, I don't care for that wish, so I'm just not going to grant it. Or like, I'm going to grant it, but it's going to suck kind of thing. And you're like, I love that you have agency in your own magic. You're not just a tool to be used. Yeah,
it's like Wishmaster, where you have to be very careful what you wish for.
Yeah, it's not
because
monkey's paw.
Because they'll exactly very monkey's paw, or 3,000 years of longing to modernise that a bit, like, where you wish for that, but are you sure? Because I'll do exactly what you say, but no promises how it's going to turn out.
Yeah. So it's cool that there's that element to it. So they do the magic and they upgrade the dresses, which look amazing, but obviously something's gonna happen. The animals all come and free the fairies, and they like turn the boutique around in an evening. So then we've got two separate fashion shows happening, ready for the climax. We've got the one happening over in Barbie's house, and then the one opposite with the villains of the piece, as it were. And we firstly go over to the villains, and everyone's there, and the dresses are gorgeous and everybody loves them, but then they start to smell and they're emitting this like weird green smoke, and it's horrible, and everybody leaves and they're like, shit. And they all come over into Barbie's fashion show, where much less nice outfits are on display. But
and wild animals are on display as well. Well, domesticated animals are tarted up in their pink fucking micro skirts, slutting their way up and down the catwalk.
Hey now, they were strutting, not slutting. And that's fun, and everybody's having a great time, and everybody's loving it. And the fairy, I think it's Glimmer, finally, after centuries of work her own magic, figures it out. And not only does she figure it out, like everyone else is like, bam, and you've got like some sparkle, bam, and you've got like a patch of sequins. She's like, bam, and the entire dress is entirely changed from top to bottom with new textures, materials, and colours. That's her gift. She's like, yes. Fuck what you did. Here's something better. Yeah,
we've had enough of hobbycraft. Yeah. Let's go full makeover.
Which again, though, when you're drunk and 30 and love the concept of dresses being glitterized by fairies, I was like, because it's like a big old sort of like Cinderella reveal where like there's light and everything, and you're watching the slow change of the dress, and the sequins are coming through and the colors are changing, and I was like, ooh, yeah, this is so exciting. Well done, Glimmer. Like, I don't know, I just really enjoyed it. And lest we forget, baby Ken has finally made his way after having the worst luck. It's taken him like a week to get to Paris, and like Boyfriend of the Year award goes to Ken, which is why I do not begrudge the second he runs onto that stage and is like, Barbie, and she's like, Ken, and she's like thrilled to see him. You would be, because immediately you're like, you have made the effort to come to Paris. Like,
not that she's given him a fucking moment's thought while she's been there for a week. There may have been a moment.
Millicent says, tell me about that lovely boyfriend of yours. And she went, ugh, I don't want to talk about it. And
yeah, which didn't actually seem very on message for her, because she was gutted. Yeah, which is why she ran away to France. But yeah, I didn't mind that. I mean, I think we haven't really concentrated. I mean, you covered everything that happened very well, but I kind of like that, although it was stereotypitis. I mean, everybody he met fell right out of a Tintin book, right? but I was all right with it as a B plot. It never took up too much time. Some things didn't even get resolved on screen. He just had moved on to the next thing.
Yeah, he's just on the next method of transportation.
And I just kind of like that. And that's, a lot of movies do have that B plot. It's not so much movies. Maybe it's like sitcoms, there's that model of American sitcom which has an A plot and a B plot, and that they eventually will come together. Mm-hmm. And that's what this could have been, an episode of Friends or Seinfeld or something like that, which have those kind of structures. And I'm all right in an hour and 15-minute movie doing that.
Yeah.
I would have liked that in the last movie. If there was something, and there were hints at it. There's all those hints about the other characters getting called up for the varsity team or whatever like that.
Spent more time with them, not just through a screen.
Yeah, and that might have helped.
Enhanced
that
it.
Because it's get rid of all that, because what this movie doesn't have is repetition, which is quite often the flaw with the Barbie movies, is that we do the same fucking thing happens over and over and over again. Mm-hmm. So I was fine with that, and I was fine with him turning up, stealing everyone's fucking, stealing the glory of the moment. But
he didn't do that.
He
turned up at a
he
reasonable
didn't.
time, and then was suddenly very conscious that he was on stage in front of everyone and started to apologize. But Barbie was then very understandably like, "No, I really like that you're here. Like, I think it's good." Yeah. So,
yeah, absolutely.
I really liked that. As I previously hinted at, the man that was going to buy the boutique to turn it into a hot dog interior or whatever is literally in a massive hot dog costume.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've seen that Netflix show, but I
haven't.
All that was happening was that sketch was rolling through my brain, and it was so funny to me. So I know that that's an externally enhanced experience. But it made it like a million times funny.
That and the zombie peas existing all the way through the movie, because they're in France as well for some reason.
The zombie peas are on the plane, and then they're like trundling their little suitcases down the Parisian streets in the background.
And these aren't,
you're just like,
just to make it clear,
these
these aren't real peas that are zombies. These are just people in costumes. It's not. There's nothing more to it than that. Why are they wearing them? What are they doing? Why do they do this all the time? Are they like Blue Man Group? And this is they're actually in the Barbie Prime universe. The zombie peas are actually an entertainment act all on their own, and there's another level. If you lived in the Barbieverse, you'd recognise the zombie peas as somebody that you'd see on Saturday Night Takeaway with Ant and Dec. They're a thing. But I should have hated that. Yeah. I should have thought that's fucking stupid. But you know what?
Sparingly, I think is why it works.
And I didn't see any zombie pea dolls, so it's not like this commercial cash-in. It's just a running joke. Yeah. Oh my God, a running joke in one of these films that's not, there's multiple of them. There's so much in here. I'm not saying it's going to win an Oscar. It's not art. It's not high art. It's not. But we've talked up some of these films. We've talked down some of these films, but this one just gets so much right. And I can't tell you how happy I was every time we start recording. So sort of behind the scenes moment here, we both don't know what each other thought of the film. And I live in fucking terror that you're going to fucking hate something that I love. I don't mind if I hate it and you love it. Yeah. That's not a problem to me. But the couple of times like Island Princess and Barbie Diaries where I've really fucking loved it and then you've gone, what a load of fucking shit. I thought, oh, this is going to be difficult. And I don't know why the other way around doesn't bother me. But I was just waiting. And I think we were both doing it at the beginning of the show. I was going, so this one, And then when you said you liked it, I thought, oh, thank God for that. Because I was thinking, I'm going to be the king of the reboot series. And you're going to hate every single one.
I'm going to be stuck in my Fairytale phase 1. Unwilling to move.
And please tell me there are going to be other movies in this era that are going to entertain us like this.
It was funny. It was objectively funny. There were jokes in it. And not even jokes. I think that's what was so delicate about it. There were just really amusing moments throughout that I think if you were a grown-up having to watch this with your child, you wouldn't want to kill yourself when it wants to watch it for the 4th time that day. And that's all you can ask for a kid's movie, Don't make it unbearable for the parents. I don't know, it's really good. And at one point they do say a fashion fairy tale, and I wrote roll credits ding. Yeah. They also had the dog come out and dance to Who Let the Dogs Out, which should have been the worst thing imaginable, but it wasn't.
But they only do it for 20 seconds as part of a sort of musical montage. My heart sank. Well, I knew it was coming because I'd read the Barbie fandom page, Barbie movies fandom page, and it says music includes Who Let the Dogs Out. I just thought, But you know what? Fine.
It was fine.
Fine. That's not what that song's about, but fine.
It is in every children's animated movie ever. It's about dogs and them being let out. That is what that song is about. Ken gets a jazzy new suit. Like the glimmer fairy like glimmers him up and he gets like a sparkly silver suit. It's
Well,
gorgeous.
he has spent half the week with his trousers split, so his boxers on display, hasn't he?
With his comical white boxers with hearts on, of course, because he is a man in a kids movie. Then they're invited to a black, white, and pink party, which I've definitely, in 2010, been invited to a black, white, and pink party. I was like, how nostalgic! What a weirdly, specifically nostalgic thing to like have. Like, it's so weird. I was like, oh yeah, remember how we were like obsessed with those colors? Like all of my outfits were black, pink, white, like all of them for like 3 years. Then the limousines are transformed into fairytale carriages with horses, and again it's fine because the drivers are like, what? But I'm like, that's funny enough in itself that I'm like, yeah, what? Oh well, it's over now. The director of the movie from the beginning is pelting down the street and Barbie's like, how did you find me here? What the audience is thinking, and he's like, never mind that, anyway, we want you to direct. And she's like, I'll think about it, which is a nice tie-in back to the beginning, but like funny enough in its blasé-ness. And she's like, but first, we've got a party to get to. Giddy up. And then the director man is like, hooray. And then usually it would cut away, but we get to see him like stop in the street and like catch his breath. And, like, and then we get to the party, and it's just really funny.
This film does have bloopers, but I didn't see them because in the ongoing saga of the 30s DVD Stephen bought off eBay, this one only played, you know that bit at the beginning where it does the world, the Universal logo comes up, plays that, then just crashes out.
Oh god.
So last episode where A Mermaid's Tale did work, I thought, this is it. Maybe it's just the older ones that have been overplayed or something, but no.
Yeah, and they're fine. They're more like continued interactions with the animals.
Right.
Like nothing stood out to me, but I was like, love to see little things playing in the credits. And then Life is a Fairy Tale kicks in and it's a fucking bop. Like, it's so good. Such a good song.
Yeah, I did quite like that as well. It's not as much as I like
Barbie and the Three Musketeers.
Yeah,
all
it was
for one.
Yeah, okay. Easy, Tiger. So you ready for a bit of trivia?
Always.
It's not a lot. We've covered most of it. So you might have noticed this is the first film. It's Barbie Entertainment. Rather than Mattel. Barbie's gown and hairstyle in the shoot of the P is the same as I can't say it. The same as my assistant thing in Diamond Castle. if you know what I mean. ALXEA. Sold 1.3 million copies of the DVD. Yeah, she was all downloadable. All her designs that she made were downloadable at Barbie.com. I don't know if that's still a thing.
Oh, cute. That's a really good idea.
So I imagine you can cut them out and colour them in. Yeah, exactly. And yeah, so I remember when I was a boy in the UK, the comic market, the UK comic book market was very gender aligned. So there would be comics like Battle and Action and Scream and stuff for boys, and there was Misty and Bunty, although Misty really good actually, 'cause it's got like horror stories written for girls and they're really fucking good. Anyway, but Bunty, I remember we had that at school, and they had on the back, you'd like cut out the figure and then cut out the outfits.
Yeah, I had my fair share of those growing up.
Yeah, I guess it's something like that. That's kind of cool. Solid, really leaning into Mermaid Tale, though, as existing as a thing, which just shows, again, just talks to me that this is a reboot. But it's kind of suggesting every movie that's been before this
is a movie within the Barbie universe.
And this is the prime universe.
Well, I'm ready to fight you, because I want to put this so high up.
Okay.
I want to put this at number 5, above Swan Lake and below Mariposa.
Yeah, I'm alright with that.
Ah, yeah!
I am. I maybe, yeah. No, this...
It was so good.
I mean...
It was so good.
It's no Three Musketeers, right?
Oh, no.
It doesn't have the...
Je ne sais quoi.
Well, or does it? But it's it is the not so much for the story. The story is the story is the story. Yeah,
but it's done so well.
But it's the fact it's got depth to it and breadth, and there's other things going on. I haven't mentioned Sonic Teeth today.
It's a good day when Sonic Teeth don't get mentioned.
Yeah, indeed. But I do sometimes find that animal subplots, especially animal romance plots, a bit fucking weird. Yeah. I love the Ken backstory. It only takes up about 2.5 minutes of the entire movie's running time.
Yeah.
But it's fine. I love the framing sequence that puts it, makes this Barbie the actress. Even the stupid stuff like the zombie peas. I'm all right with it. I'm all right with the fact Barbie doesn't have much agency. I'm all right with the fact that the villains aren't really that fucking villainous.
Yeah.
Because it's not really about any of that. It's about just giving it a go and trying something and let's do the show right here kind of vibe. Yeah. What actually shocks me is I go back, the other website I look at is like the Common Sense, where Christian mothers say how terrible every film is for their child. Uh-huh. And they're moaning about the commercialism of this film, and I'm thinking,
oh my god, it's a Barbie movie. Like, why do you think it exists?
But it's not, is it? At no point does anyone say if you buy all this stuff, your life will be better. I'm all right with this being a really fucking surprising number 5, and it's better than Swan Lake, because I tell you what, Swan Lake gets a knockdown for that ending, where someone's left as a fucking mirror the rest of their lives.
And I think it's really positive to have such a late entry up so high as well. I think it
obviously,
shows hope.
2 films ago, we put it in something in at number 1. But yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Again, I wonder if this is a high point, but that'll be the 3rd time I've said that.
Yeah, exactly.
I thought,
I think we just need to put our faith in the Barbie universe.
And I think there are going to be variants, right? What is next?
A Fairy Secret.
Oh, yeah. And then Princess Charm School. I'm so excited about that.
Please don't get your hopes up about Charm School. I don't think it's going to be the Black Widow movie we never got.
No, I'm afraid I've looked at someone's tier list and it's the worst movie on their tier list.
What, the Charm School?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I just accidentally briefly read the plot from Barbie A Fairy Secret and I'm now fucking pumped. I'm so fucking pumped. It's a shared universe. She must team up with Raquel. Raquel's back. Bitch Raquel. And we gotta save Ken from marrying a fairy princess and being trapped in the fairy world forever. Like, I am so fucking on board with that. That sounds fucking amazing. Oh my god.
Oh, I love it. Ken gets kidnapped by a group of fairies and forced to marry someone.
I love that. That's so Fairytale. That's so, like, true Fairytale. That's like up the airy mountain, down the rushy glen. We daren't go a-hunting for fear of little men kind of thing. Like, oh my god, I'm so excited. It's gonna be so good, Stephen. It's gonna be so good.
I hope you're not disappointed.
I hope I'm not disappointed.
or you're gonna be a meme.
Wow, so well done, Barbie: A Fashion Fairytale, in at number 5 out of 19.
Utterly unexpected, especially after we stopped speaking at the end of the last episode.
Yeah.
I have done some soul searching.
Oh god.
About can we put up with this with another 20 movies? And I'm glad this happened. And what this will do, however bad things get, this will always give us hope.
Nice. So join us next time for Barbie: A Fairy Secret. Ooh.
I'm not doing that.